Like many other Americans, Heather led a typical life, yet she harbored a deep love for travel. Whenever she had the chance, she ventured to various destinations, immersing herself in hiking, camping, and exploration. Heather possessed a genuine taste for adventure, which she pursued with fervor. During her travels, Heather encountered a symphony of animal sounds, some endearing, others menacing. With her experience, she discerned when to investigate and when to steer clear of potential dangers, typically avoiding risky situations. However, one day, while hiking in the mountains, Heather heard a haunting cry that piqued her curiosity. Despite her initial inclination to press on, something about the distant, sorrowful call tugged at her heartstrings, compelling her to investigate further. Venturing into a patch of tall grass, Heather discovered the source of the noise, a tiny, malnourished kitten, its pitiful cries echoing in the wilderness. Startled by the sight, Heather realized the dire condition of the forsaken feline. It appeared abandoned and on the brink of starvation, with no sign of parental care in sight. Though aware of the harsh realities of nature's cycle, Heather couldn't bear to leave the defenseless creature to its fate. Making a pact with herself, she resolved to return the next day. If the kitten survived, she would rescue it and nurse it back to health. If not, she would honor nature's course. Determined to aid the fragile kitten, Heather hurried back to her vehicle, gathering food and water supplies. Returning to the spot where she found the kitten, she laid out provisions, hoping to provide sustenance and comfort to the vulnerable creature. The kitten eagerly devoured every morsel of food and sip of water offered by Heather, responding with a grateful yelp as she stroked its tiny head. That night, Heather found it difficult to sleep, her mind consumed with worry for the vulnerable kitten. At the break of dawn, Heather hastened back to the spot where she had encountered the kitten the day before, hoping to find it still alive. To her surprise, the kitten bounded out of the grass toward her, displaying a clear recognition of her presence. It seemed evident that the kitten had formed an unspoken bond with Heather, trusting her as its caregiver. Realizing the responsibility she now carried, Heather gently scooped up the kitten and brought it home. Over the following days and weeks, she showered the young animal with care and provisions, watching with joy as it thrived and grew in her care. However, Heather's joy turned to astonishment when she noticed the kitten's growth and changing behavior. It soon became apparent that what she had rescued was not a domestic kitten but a wild lion cub. Despite her initial shock, Heather developed a deep connection with the cub, which had now grown to the size of a small dog. Seeking confirmation of her suspicions, Heather visited a veterinary clinic with the cub. The tests performed by the doctor confirmed her suspicions. The young animal was indeed a male lion. While the veterinarian recommended releasing the lion cub back into the wild, Heather found herself unwilling to part with the creature she had grown to love. Despite their bond, Heather recognized that a fully grown male lion was not suited to be a companion. Lions were meant to roam free in their natural habitat among their own kind. Reluctantly accepting this truth, Heather realized that the lion cub would benefit from being rehomed in a more suitable environment. The veterinarian recommended that sending the male lion to Africa would provide him with the best opportunity to live a fulfilling life. There, he could roam the vast plains, reign as the king of the jungle, and establish his own pride. After all arrangements were made, the time came for the male lion to begin his journey. As he grew larger, Heather found it increasingly difficult to accommodate him in her home. Not out of aggression, but due to his sheer size, he unintentionally caused damage and disruption. As the lion was led away, emitting a mournful cry reminiscent of the one that had initially moved Heather, she couldn't help but feel a sense of loss. Little did she know, this would not be the end of their story. Time passed, and Heather received devastating news. She was terminally ill, with only a few months left to live. With her remaining time, she knew exactly what she wanted to do: visit Africa one last time to ensure the lion was thriving and bid him a proper farewell. Despite her failing health, Heather embarked on the arduous journey from America to Africa. The trip was physically demanding, but she remained resolute in her purpose. Eventually, she found herself in the midst of the vast savanna, surrounded by the African wilderness. After a period of waiting, Heather spotted a small cluster of trees in the distance. As she approached, she saw a pride of lions, 7 or 8 in total, including cubs and lionesses. And there, among them, was the majestic male lion, exuding the aura of a true king of the jungle. Was this the same cub she had rescued all those years ago? As the rangers kept a vigilant watch, Heather surprised everyone by stepping out of the van and into the open air. Despite the rangers' attempts to call her back, it was too late. The lions were already drawing near, with the dominant male leading the group. Remaining calm and composed, Heather extended her hand, prompting the lion to pause and sniff her with curiosity. To everyone's amazement, the lion recognized her scent and affectionately nuzzled against her, emitting a cheerful growl. Despite the ranger's apprehension, it was clear that the lion remembered his former companion. Tears of joy streamed down Heather's face as she basked in the moment of reunion. Though the lion could never repay her for her kindness, and though it couldn't cure her from her terminal illness, the opportunity to reconnect with her old friend brought her immeasurable happiness. Reflecting on the journey that led to this moment, Heather realized that it all began with a single act of compassion toward a helpless creature. And now, as she stood face to face with the magnificent lion, she knew that every sacrifice she had made was worth it for this moment of profound connection.